Now, welcome to another news from Naboo with Thor's Lightning Takes, as always. All right, let's get to the news.
Okay, so today's first piece of news is that Ubisoft's Star Wars game won't be released until 2025 at the earliest.
Boo.
I know, all of our games are saying they're not coming out for a while, and it's sad. So there hasn't been any official word as to why the game's going to be taking so long. We could still be blaming COVID, but there is one fact that kind of ties in with this story a little bit. I mean, a few days ago we found out that Ubisoft's division Massive just lost their managing director, David Polfict. He had a 6-month sabbatical.
That's that.
6 month sabbatical. Yeah. And then when he came back, he said, the wind's blowing a different direction, he's out. So.
Wow, okay. Well, whatever he discovered while free from his job.
Well, some people are saying it's because the division he manages grew like exponentially. Like a lot of new people came on board, and he wanted to work with a small group of people. That's what he worked with. That's what he knew.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I mean, if that's what you like to do, if you like working in a small team, then certainly trying to manage a giant department is not your cup of tea.
Right, it does make it harder to manage everything when everything grew 6 times or something while you were out.
And, I mean, we don't really know much about this game so far, do we? We don't even know what time period this is. We know it's going to be an open-world adventure type game. I mean, which is awesome. Right. I think it's what people have been dreaming about out of Star Wars since, like Skyrim and others kind of set the
open-world expectation.
Yeah, this kind of blew it out of the water of what a game could be, so...
I mean, they do have that Avatar game coming, too, that's supposed to be open world. The Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. It's supposed to come out, like, late this year or early next year. And the Star Wars game was going to be using that same new engine.
We'll kind of get a preview of what maybe to sort of expect?
There is a trailer out there for the Avatar game.
I have not looked into that at all.
It looks phenomenal. It looks awesome. I've watched the trailer a couple times.
You are a big Avatar fan. I like Avatar. I
even went to see their Cirque du Soleil show.
I didn't go with you.
Which was a fantastic show, by the way.
I should have gone with you.
You should have.
It sounded amazing.
Totally missed out.
My bad.
But yeah, the new engine Snowdrop looks phenomenal. And it's designed for open world. It's cutting edge, and what they want to do with this engine is deliver story-driven experiences in an open world. And this Star Wars project was supposed to be the beginning of a long-term collaboration with Disney and Lucasfilm Games. They're dedicated to creating a game fans will love.
I mean, and speaking of that, what I am looking forward to now that EA does not have exclusive rights, now that Lucasfilm Games has kind of risen from the ashes of LucasArts, even though they're not technically the same thing. I'm waiting for the day where we get to the point where we are finally going to get a Star Wars game or two a year again, kind of like we did in the days of old. I'm assuming that's kind of going to be where we eventually get to, that with EA, again, not exclusive rights. We have many different people making games out there, some we don't even know about. Because that's what I miss. I mean, everybody, I think most people remember, the golden age of Star Wars games where we were getting 2, sometimes 3 really quality games every year. And then, of course, Disney buys Lucasfilm, EA gets exclusive rights, and we've had a handful of games in the last decade now. So I'm hoping, with Star Wars Eclipse years away and this years away, and Jedi Fallen Order perhaps late this year, early next year, I hope we're kind of in a few years going to get to that point where every year we are getting a game or two, because I miss those days. I'm always looking forward to the next Star Wars game in a few months, not maybe in a few years, maybe in 2027. Star Wars is
experiencing the drought, so
yeah, it's we could certainly have a long, fun debate about the Disney era of Star Wars here and how well it's been handled on many different fronts. I mean, in some fronts, obviously bringing it to TV has been a massive success. Game department, not so much. I'm actually doing a video, or should be doing a video, on the main channel today about the other books and comics and stuff like that. So, but yeah. So let's move on. I think I'm rambling enough about this one.
All right. Let's move on to some Marvel-ish Star Wars news.
Okay.
Or Star Wars-ish Marvel news. That's the better way to put it. So Moon Knight's Oscar Isaac had reservations about taking on the Marvel role. He was approached about playing Moon Knight, and apparently it was a harder decision for him than originally thought. He said he had reservations. He was reluctant to take on another franchise role after his work in the sequel trilogy playing Poe Dameron. In an interview, he had this to say: "For me, it was all reservations. It was months of smashing my head against a stone wall like, is this the right thing to do? I thought I shouldn't do it. Maybe. He goes on to say, I had just kind of got out of the whole, big machinery of Star Wars, and I was like, I just want to do character studies. And I don't know. I mean, you know what? Let's be honest. Oscar Isaac's character study work is amazing. He was fantastic in The Card Counter, and how can anyone say a word against his Duke Atreides portrayal in Dune?
Yeah, which is kind of a bigger factory, quote-unquote, as he put it, movie, isn't it?
It is, but his character's gone already, so...
True, he was in there only for... spoilers, but yeah, not in there very much.
Yeah, it's kind of sad that Poe Dameron wasn't that great character that had... he had the potential to be with such a talented actor behind him.
Well, I mean, the irony of Poe Dameron is that Oscar Isaac kind of asked J.J. Abrams to bring him back. He was originally supposed to die in the TIE fighter crash, not come back, magically surviving that crash and being thrown from it and somehow not being killed while being thrown from the TIE fighter. So he kind of, I don't want to say he should blame himself for his, whatever
Maybe
went wrong with Star Wars and
naivety.
him. Well, sure. I mean, he was younger. I mean, that's almost 10 years ago at this point where he was probably filming Star Wars. So, yeah, I mean, I think he's gotten to a point where it's not as appealing to be the Poe Dameron in these big films. He's famously quoted as saying, or when he was asked about, will you come back to Star Wars, saying, well, only if I need another house. So, I don't think being the big franchise character is for everybody. I'm glad he was, because he was, he was an enjoyable character for the most part. I mean, his story wasn't perfect. Nobody's story was perfect, I would argue, in the sequels.
Well, that's why he wanted to do character-driven work after.
Well, yeah,
after
I mean,
through
I'm
all
sure
of
he
that.
did, because he probably looked at, his character arc in there and was like, well, wasn't as good as it could have been.
Right.
Maybe I shouldn't have asked to come back. Maybe Poe Dameron was better off dead in the desert than... I'm sorry, I liked Poe. I like a lot of the sequel characters. I just don't like their stories necessarily.
Right. Well, of course, we know that in the end, the story of Moon Knight proved too enticing to refuse. He said he couldn't help but feel that there was this opportunity there. He couldn't get it out of his head, and now, a little over a week now, and we get to see this character come to life. I'm
That's
really
right.
excited to see
Yeah,
Moon Knight come to life.
We'll be doing the reviews for that here. We will
Absolutely.
cover a little bit of Marvel. We're mainly Star Wars, obviously.
I'm not a Moon Knight expert, but I know some stuff.
I'm not a Moon Knight expert at all, I won't lie. So it's going to be interesting.
Okay, then let's move on to our last little story, a little off topic today. Will the Monsterverse by Legendary Studios carry on? So, new rumors suggest it will. There's an Australian newspaper that reported that a new Godzilla vs. Kong sequel will be shot there, providing a huge $120 million boost to their economy. Could this be a direct sequel? Or maybe just another entry of the Monsterverse? Or just a rumor? Only time will tell, but what are your thoughts?
Well, I've liked all the Godzilla and King Kong movies. I mean, they're not perfect films. They're not like masterpieces. And
I want Mothra to come back for the next one.
sure. Well, I mean, that's what
Love
Mothra
Mothra.
does, right?
Well, yeah, we know she turned back into an egg or became another
So,
egg.
I mean, I've enjoyed all the films by and large. They're not like movies where you're trying to, you're not looking for some real depth in there. You're looking for monsters fighting each other, and I think they deliver that quite well. So I'm fine with
The
them.
cinematography is beautiful.
Yeah.
The music is epic. I still think Godzilla King of the Monsters might have been my favorite one.
Maybe.
Really? Maybe?
I don't know. I think so, probably. I don't know. I haven't
Well,
really
it
given
wasn't Skull Island for me.
No.
I'm
No,
not the huge Kong fan.
No, you're not. You were definitely rooting for Godzilla when they were fighting. I
And he
know that.
won.
Sure. He did.
He did.
He did.
Definitively.
All right. But no, I mean, sure, keep the Monsterverse going. I don't know how well they've done at the box office. I mean, obviously.
They've done well.
Yeah, I think they do pretty well overseas as well. I think for whatever reason, overseas loves seeing giant things fighting each other. Transformers
they are
in
the
China
birth
are
of kaiju and
well, sure. I'm not even talking about
Gundams
Japan.
and-
I'm talking about, for whatever reason, like China loves Transformers and the Fast and the Furious. I don't know why, but hey,
They like cars and cars that turn into things.
I guess so. I guess you solved the mystery.
Ta-da!
All right. But anyway, I do think that's all we've got for you this time. Now it's your turn to take to the comments below. Tell us what you think of all this news today. Are you excited to, in the near future, maybe be getting a lot more Star Wars games and not with the EA logo attached to them? What? I know. What do you think about Poe Dameron in Moon Knight? Are you excited for Moon Knight? Will you be watching our reviews, or do you not care about that sort of thing? And are there other things you'd like to see us review in the future? Halo, yes, that could be
Sorry, I'm
interesting.
excited about that this week.
And finally, Monsterverse. Are you into it? Do you not care? Again, let us know in the comments below, and let's talk some Star Wars, Marvel, Godzilla, whatever. And until next time, thanks for watching.